Hello everyone and welcome to another preview of a live stream, and today Sandown Anniversary Vase, a 10 race card blockbuster clash, and also around the country, around Australia, 3 tracks: Morphettville, Rosehill and Doomben. So we'll start with last week's winners. It is on a Saturday morning, which is very different, so we'll try and get this live stream done as quick as possible. But last week's winners, we had Lethal Thoughts for the win on it. That ended up turning provider. My best bet of the day at Mornington, Maracana, ate the win on that horse. It managed to sit 3 wide, no cover, and still win. Little 1-each-1, Typhoon Harmony, got up for second, so we got the placing dividend there. And then around the country, I think we had about 11 horses earmarked, and 4 of them got up, so that's a win rate of about 36%, which I'm pretty happy with, and they all paid well, especially Lady Laguna in the last at Doomben. How good was that? But with Typhoon Harmony placing, that means we're finally in the green, albeit by 55 cents. Profit on turnover of 0.04%. Last week we managed to just scrape over the line, and we did scrape over the line, and so that means from our last 7 weeks, 6 of them have been green, and hopefully today we can add to that and get more into the green. So we'll get on with Sandown, doing our usual $10 strategies, and this is race 1. It's the 2-year-old handicap over 1,000 metres. Now this race, they're basically all first starters, so don't take my word for this one. Liberami's jumped out okay. It'll go back. Prince Zero's the favourite. I really like this horse from the jump out. Draws out well. I've got it in for a close second because of the price, and I reckon something else represents more value. This horse has been well supported this morning. She Liked for Ken and Casey Keys. Draws well. It'll be just behind the speed and will give its all. And sub 6 has been okay, but this is the one I put on top, and it's Red Dates. Now, just found the 1,200 metre run at Cranbourne a bit too far, was found wanting late, so I think back to the 1,000 metres suits it ideally. From gate 1 can just borrow through and lead this field, and it's already got the race experience, so it should handle itself pretty well, and I just think it represents more value than the favourite in Prince Zero. So for the $10 strategy in the first race, I've gone 5 each way on Red Dates. I know there's only 5 horses and there's no third dividend, but I just think Prince Zero can easily win, and if in case it does, I just want to have that backup. So in the first at Sandown, I'm just going 5 each way on Red Dates. But 2-year-old race, don't take my word for it. Now we get to some real races, and this is a benchmark 78 over the 2,400 metres, and we've had a big scratching of King's Crossing this morning, the favourite on the lightweight. The horse, before I go on, I actually really liked, before it got scratched, was Mr. Blackwood on Wednesday, and that was going to be one of my value picks for the day, but that's unfortunately out, so we have to find another one, and Sing for Peace could be the one. Draws gate 5, Billy Egan knows the horse. Or does he? Sorry, I thought Billy Egan was his main rider. It looks like it's been Talia Hope and Mickey D. Oh, need to get my knowledge refixed there. But Sing for Peace, look, it's strong gate 5. It always hits that flat spot in its races. So at the 3,000 metres last start, Mickey D took off early in that term provider. And it's 2 starts prior. Pakenham was okay because it settled right there on speed. And then the 2,400 at Bendigo, it hit that flat spot and just didn't come on in time before the finishing post did. Look, it's strong gate 5. It'll be in a forward position. Billy Egan takes the ride, 59.5 kilos, and it just needs to get going at the right time for this horse to win. Irish Butterfly, I don't mind for Celine Gaudreau claiming the 2 kilos. He's had the hurdle trial, might sparking it up. Was good winning at Sandown, albeit an easier grade last start. But I still think it was a pretty good win. It'll go forward, and I reckon it will run very well, Irish Butterfly. Never Again for Reece Goodwin and Bo Mertens. It finished off really hard in the Vobisgold Heath when it was all over behind El Patroness. Tobias Shaw's come out of that race off the week back up and run okay at Mornington. Draws gate 6 will get back, but will be charging home. Milford Sound's been backed, was just beaten by Mr. Blackwood last start. Mimi's Award needs to find some form, and uniquely also needs to improve a little bit. So for race 2 at Sandown, I'm actually going Never Again. 10 the win on Never Again. I like that closing finish behind El Patroness last start in Vobisgold Heath. That was a good race. Drops back in class. But I also do think Irish Butterfly is a good chance. And Sing for Peace. So I'm not having them all, but I'm going Never Again. All right, race 3. This is one of the Vale Dean Holland races. It's a 3-year-old fillies benchmark 70 over the 1,300 metres. And boy, oh boy, this race is interesting. Jenny Jerome is the top weight, but gets the 3 kilo claim for Laura Lafferty. Draws gate 5 will be in a good spot from that gate and is coming back from racing in harder races. I had it this day on Newmarket Day behind Meridius, and Is It Me had no luck and should have bolted in by a comfortable space. Just got held up the whole straight and then went here. I was expecting it to beat Papillon Club, to be honest. I thought the market had missed it entirely, but it just didn't run well. So it might bounce back to form, but I'm not on it. Holly Lolly beat Clarity last start. Just the main query is 54 kilos up to 60 kilos, but you know what? It's doing pretty well, and that is probably the premium form reference of the race, as Royal Merchant came out last week and probably should have won over in Adelaide. Clarity is the favourite. I had it last start behind Holly Lolly. It also rises up a fair way in weight, but luckily Celine Gaudre claims at 2 kilos. Draws gate 12, which in my opinion is a bit of a question mark around that hillside circuit. We'll need to find a spot pretty early in the 3 wide line or risk going forward and getting trapped doing work, 3 wide no cover, or if it goes back, it might get trapped too far back. So the gate's very interesting, and Celine Gaudreau is going to need to be at her best to get this horse into a good spot. But I reckon if it does get into a good spot, it's the one to beat. My tip in the race was Hell Hath No Fury before it came out. Vagrant, I don't mind. Came through this weaker form reference, winning a benchmark 58 at Bendigo over the 1,300 metres. But the main thing I like with this horse is Sandown. It finally gets to Sandown. I love Geordie Childs. He's probably one of my favourite riders. Draws gate 4. Will be out the back, but will be absolutely charging home late. Aquarello, to be honest, I thought was slightly under the odds. It's coming out of a 3-year-old main win at Pakenham, which it beat Kiko, and that's a pretty good horse. But it's got to go up a few levels, and I'd just like to see it do it first. So for race 3 at Sandown, I am with Vagrant. I really like it at Sandown, and I think it'll be charging home from the back with Geordie Childs on, going 5 each way on that horse in race 3. Race number 4 is a 3-year-old handicap over the 1,400 metres. We'll get started. Meridius, look, it's running the Bendigo Guineas was just fair, but one prior. Castilian's been really well backed this morning, so keep an eye on that horse. Finished off pretty well through the line over 1,200. Now steps up to the 1,400, which is a plus. Sandown Hillside's a plus. Gate 9's a plus, will be on the outside. Yeah, it's going really well. Aiming gets in with the 52 kilos for Carleen Heffel. Draws wide, so he's going to have to work to get to the lead. But it won at Sandown Lakeside, beating DK last start, and it can do it again. Toronto Terrier is my tip for the race. Gets in with the 54 kilos. I was with it in the Vobis Gold Reef. Sat 3 wide no cover around that tight turning Moonee Valley circuit, and probably should have won with the right run. Then I took it on in the Vobis Size Guineas, and it just faded late behind Russian Dancer. So back to 1,400 is really good for this horse from gate 8. John McNeil needs to be smart. I reckon he should burrow up, keep aiming working so he can find a spot, and it also keeps aiming out rather than risk being trapped 3 wide no cover again like at Moonee Valley. I reckon the race plays in John McNeil's hands. DK is a close second selection. Was good behind aiming last start, and before that was all right in the Bendigo Guineas. Linda Meach, gate 2, will probably be leading the race, so it's a good chance. But I'm with Toronto Terror in race 4, 10 the win on it. I reckon John McNeil can control the race, not necessarily from the front, just from where other horses position, and it can be hard to beat. Race number 5 is the 2-year-old ANZAC Day Stakes at listed level over the 1,400 metres. This race was meant to be run, obviously, on ANZAC Day, but we know what happened there. Chill the Krug was good winning at Sandown last start, but does carry the big weight compared to everything else, which is my main concern. But it's got the best form. Magic Mogul, I reckon, is slightly over the odds. I thought this run behind SK was full of merit over the 1,300 metres. Went to the showdown, was just beaten for speed over the 1,200 metre start, and it was flying home late, although it was 10 lengths away, so it will need to improve. Arizona Activist was good behind She's All Shenanigans late in the showdown. Before that, missed behind Butch Cassidy. It can win. My on-top selection is Legacies. Even though the bias was in its favour last start at Cranbourne, I reckon it won very impressively by a length and a quarter. Gate 5, Luke Nolan on speed up to 1,400 metres. I reckon it's the one to beat. Vivier was a good last start winner at Geelong. Also a 2-year-old maiden winner, but this one was a 2-year-old fillies maiden. Vivier, Gate 3, good gate, John McNeil. It can also run very well. And Electrona, finished 2 lengths behind Chill the Krug on debut. Will take improvement out of that run and draws well, so it can run well as well. But race 5, the listed ANZAC Day Stakes at Sandown. I'm with Legacies. I reckon it's the one to beat, albeit at the short price. Race 6, the 3-year-old handicap over the 1,000 metres. Yeah, all I'll say is I didn't do the form for this race because when I looked at the nominations, there was only going to be one possible selection, and that is the favourite Katsu. I reckon it's the best bet that I've seen for quite a while in my Saturday form doing. I'm not going to say the M word because that's against the Get On commandments, but it's very close to it. Gate 9, Jordan Childs will be in the right part of the track come that stage of the day. It's an on-speed horse. First up, absolutely bolted away from them in this race at Sale. Got a lot of ability, this horse, and it should just be winning. I'm not going to waste any time. 10 the win on Katsu. It's a short price, but yeah. I didn't do the form, and it's very close to an M word. All right, race 7, a benchmark 84, also over the 1,000 metres start. Starry Legend won this race last year, but I thought it was going better last year. Do Ya Punk, Luke Nolan, was good coming from the back, ridden upside down last start at Bendigo, so can settle further forward from gate 9. Will be in the right part of the track come that stage of the day, and will be running well. My on-top selection for the race is Foxycon. Now, I really underestimated its chances at 1,200 last start, but Carleen Heffel claimed the 2 kilos and just held on. So I think back to 1,000 metres suits this horse. Even though there's a bit of speed, I reckon Carleen Heffel should just jump, lead, and absolutely bolt away from them. Is in with the lightweight, draws well enough to be in the lead on the fence. Well, not on the fence, away from the fence, but on the inside of other horses. And it's going well enough to win this race, and I reckon it can. Nazrawi, first up record's good. Although it's got weaker form, it gets in with a good weight. I reckon it's slightly over the odds. Snapped for John McNeil, also gets in with a lightweight. Was good last up behind Varanskova. Has been given a little freshen up since then. It nearly should have beaten Varanskova. It was slightly unlucky. Before that, just got too far back in the Bellmain. Draws gate 4, 1,000 metres suits. It can win. Tycoon Hummer, I liked its form. I like it coming back from Adelaide. My main query was it's going to be spotting Foxycon and probably even snapped a bit of a start. Not snapped, but definitely Foxycon. So that was the main reason I took it on. But it's been slightly back this morning. And Bella. So I'm with Foxycon, 10 the win on that horse. I reckon it'll be on speed and just win. And yeah, if Katsu doesn't win, I won't give up, but I'll be very, very surprised. All right, race 8 is a very interesting race. The VRC St. Ledger for the 3-year-olds over the 3,000 metres at listed level. This race was also meant to be run on Anzac Day, and now it's over the 3,000, not the 2,800, because they couldn't find a suitable 2,800 start at Sandown. So Midnight Glow. I was all over this horse in the Ledger trial, but Anthony Darman got it stuck 3 wide, no cover from gate 4. What are the odds? And yeah, it was just a forget run there. It was well back late, and then comes out of that and just missed behind Bengal Boy. I think others are better suited up to 3,000 metres, but I just think this horse finished so far ahead of them, and it's got the quality to win that it probably should. And from gate 2, we'll be in a forward spot and give it its all. The others I didn't really think could beat Midnight Glow out of that one. Kentucky Nick gets the blinkers near side for the first time, which could help. Roaring Engine gets the blinkers on for the first time and was finishing off pretty well late. But my big roughie for the day and for around the country is Final Overture. Now, you're looking at the form going, what is he on? But the X factor of stepping up from 1,800 to 3,000 metres really interested me. Emily and David Brown know how to train a stayer. It's drawn well enough to be in a forward position. Prior to the Port Adelaide Guineas run, was good behind Rockin' Zane at Mornington, although it was in a 0 to 58. You don't have to be that good to win the St. Ledger in terms of quality of race you're coming through last start. But if you watch it closely in the Port Adelaide Guineas, it was really going through the line, and I just think that step up to 3,000 metres looks ideal for this horse. It's an absolute out-and-out stayer, and I just think $35 is over the odds. So it'll probably run last, but I've got it in there as my best roughie for the day. Musgrave, not bad. Pulverizer, they were talking it up on 3 wide no cover. It's a good chance. Winning bid. It's been also ultra consistent. Hasn't won from 9 starts, which is a bit of a query, but as its last 2 have been good, especially 2 back behind Promises Kept, who then went out and bolted in the Ledger trial, so you can tie that form in. But for race 8, the VRC St. Ledger, I've gone 6 to win as Midnight Glow is my main one. I reckon it's just the one to beat. And then 2 each one, Final Overture, just in case a massive boil over happens. I've got that in there. All right, race number 9 is the feature. It's the listed anniversary Vase over the 1,400 metres open class. Cardinal Gem. Main query, big weight, but it deserves to because it won the Vic Handicap impressively, and before that was good behind Not an Option. It's racing in good form, and it'll be going close. Draws well enough to be in a forward position from that gate as well. Cherry Tortoni will need to find some form because it's been first up off nearly a year, and it has to get back with the 60 kilos first up, but it'll be running home hard. Crosshaven, I thought, was slightly over the odds. I thought this run behind Imperial Lab was full of merit, sitting 3 wide, no cover. Has to find a spot from gate 10 today as well, which put me off slightly, but it's a good chance. Buffalo River, it probably was doing the rain dance last night, and it ended up getting a soft 6, which I still don't think will see it at its best. I had it first up in the Vic Handicap, and I just would have liked to have seen it do a bit more. It improved second up, but I just would have liked to have seen it do a bit more. My on-top selection for the race is Lady of Honor. I just think third up now, it's ready to peak, draws well, can go on soft ground. Harry Coffey gets in with the good weight, was good behind Cardinal Gem last start, and before that was finishing off well in the Able Stakes. 1,400 third up, good on soft, good gate, good weight. I'm happy with Lady of Honor. And apart from that, Imperial Lad beat Crosshaven last start. Mega Mayor's in the market because it gets in with the lightweight, was good in the distaff, so that horse can do well, but I'm with Lady of Honor. 10 to win on that horse. I think it's over the odds at $6 especially. And finally, race number 10 is the Fillies and Mares 78 over 1,300 metres. We'll get to some of the key chances later on in the field. Adela Moore, I reckon, is slightly over the odds. And Jamie Mott is the later with 60 kilos, which will have to carry the weight first up. We'll get back but charge home. Let's see. Carolee Rocks is the favourite. Now, I like its form, but I've got a few others ahead of it. I'm not completely taking it on, but I haven't got it on top. Was good, but it's always good first up, winning 3 from 3. Draws gate 15, so it's going to have to get right back to last. That's a slight query, but it finished off really hard by beating They Call Me Bruce and Win Tilly last start at Geelong. It's slightly short in the market than what I would have liked, but we'll get on to some of the other key chances later. Serene Striker, I think, presents good form, but with the run it got, I would have expected it to run past Foxicon late here. Draws okay. I'm not ruling it out. Party for One is the horse I've put on top again now. It's been a while since I've seen a horse finish off as hard as what Party for One did last start behind Foxicon. Just found the 1,200 slightly too sharp. Up to 1,300 absolutely suits this horse. Gate 11 will be on the outside of horses. It's second up in Victoria. Was good prior behind Parasol and Insurrection, and Parasol came and won on All-Star Mile Day. So the form was frank there. This horse with another 5 metres would have won this race. So Party for One I've got on top, but there's another each way chance I like in the race, and that horse is Star of Chaos. I've tinkered with the gear to get it right. But I think this Distaff form is very good for this race, and my on-top selection for this race would have been Mega Mia if it had have gone here, and I wish it did because it would have been my best of the day, apart from Katsu Mega Mia in this race, but unfortunately it's gone to the anniversary Vase. Star of Chaos comes through that Robust Gold Distaff, was only fair, but was backed in late, so someone thought it had a chance, and someone thought, it was worthy of winning first up. Gate 10, Linda Meach on speed. It'll be running well. Star of Chaos, and I think it's slightly over the odds. And apart from that, not much doing. So for the last race on the day, I'm with Party for One and Star of Chaos. Gone those two, I reckon they're good chances. And just in case you're wondering, Star of Chaos is on the left and Party for One's on the right in that photo. So we'll get on to the around the country tips. It was very successful last week, as I said at the start of the video, winning 36%, and Lady Laguna getting up in the last race at Dubin. So we'll start with Rose Hill. I've got 3 here. Race 2, number 2, Preemptory at 550. Race 8, number 2, Shorts at 440. I think it draws the inside, so we'll need some luck. And my best at Rose Hill is race 10, number 11, Huesca. I reckon it's a pretty good chance, and I can see why it's that short in the market. I couldn't find too many at Rose Hill compared to the other tracks we're about to take a look at, so we'll get straight on with that. Morphettville is the big Australasian Oaks meeting. Race 3, number 5, Cumin. Race 4, number 9. Good luck to Brett Davis to pronounce that one. I'm not going to try. Race 6, number 3, Ponadira. Yeah, I think it's a good chance. And race 8, number 1, Swazero. Now, I think it should be favourite over Loco. Craig knew it'll just go to the front, absolutely bolt away from them. And then the get out at Morphettville. Race 10, number 3, Imposing Suspect at $11, way over the odds. And then we go over to Eagle Farm. A few shorties here, but Calipore in the first, Party for 2, Yasuki right down, Antino at a short price, Private Eye, and my best at Eagle Farm is the Fortune Teller in the last race. I reckon he can upstage the favourite. The name escapes me, Kavelika or something like that, number 3. I think it's over the odds and can upstage the favourite in the last. So for Eagle Farm, best bet the Fortune Teller. For Morphettville, the best bet is probably Swazero or race 4, number 9, and then Rose Hill, race 10, number 11, Huesca. So thanks for tuning in to the tips for today, and yeah, hopefully we can get a few winners, and I'll see you next week.